Welcome to Live Better Longer. I'm your host, Bill Borton. Millions of Americans, including many baby boomers, are just kind of feeling powerless these days. People really don't know, with all the information that's available to them, particularly from the internet and the 24/7 news cycle, they just don't know where to go to get the answers that they need. My guest, Dr. Carol Pate, is relatively new to entrepreneurship. After 17 years in higher education, Carol joined Tammy Williams, founder and CEO of SHEapp, in August of 2017. As Executive Vice President and a partner with minority and women-owned SHEapp, Carol is responsible for all things content. She also helps run the day-to-day business of SHEapp. Carol, welcome to Live Better Longer.
Thank you, Bill. I'm excited to be here.
Well, I'm delighted to have you as well. So, Carol, what prompted you to move from higher education, where I know you had a long career, to helping women and SHEapp?
It was really, Bill, the Women's March. I had left, and in fact, I didn't even know why I was going to the Women's March, but I had an epiphany that made me realize two things about women. One is that I know that women have been left out of a lot of conversations in this world. But the second thing I also knew is that women do things to leave themselves out of the conversation. And so once I felt that, and once I knew that that was something core to me, I knew that my next path would be women. I just didn't know that it would be this until later.
Well, that's great. So, tell our viewers about what SHEapp does and why you're the content whisperer.
SHEapp is a lifestyle technology and content media company. We exist to basically help empower women and men take back their health. And so, as the content whisperer and responsible for all things content, I take care of all of our articles. I hire and work with writers. I work with the writers for all of our social media content. Basically, I also help with the messaging, because social health empowerment is, in fact, a new phrase in today's world.
So tell me, you mentioned social health empowerment. How does SHEapp help women through what you're calling social health empowerment?
What we do is we provide women with the knowledge that matters, support that counts, and access to the current and expert resources so that they can make better decisions for their lives.
And what form does that take? I mean, in other words, how can that manifest? Give me a little bit more clarity around that.
Well, it manifests in our vision of it's all in your hands. Our mobile platform, that is 10 apps in one. And so with our mobile platform, SHEapp, basically you have the knowledge that matters, the support that counts, and access to tremendous resources.
So how did you come up with social health empowerment? That's a phrase that's new to me.
Basically, when we came up with that term, I did some research, and in the research, population research, I did research in psychology, and I also did research in social services. And as a result of that, I had come up with some really interesting statistics, like in terms of our health outcomes in the US, only 10% is basically due to the medical care that we receive. The other possible 30%, 25 to 30%, is due to our genetics. The rest is due to the social circumstances that we find ourselves in, and the behaviors that we do while we're living on a day-to-day basis.
Now, I know we talked prior to the show about choicefulness and the different services and information that's available in general, but some women in our society, many more than many people realize, don't necessarily have the availability of that information or the resources to be able to make better choices. And so how do you reach them?
How do we reach them? Well, one way that we've been reaching them is we've been going up and down the East Coast to health and wellness expos. A number of those health and wellness expos have been free. And so we have met women from all walks of life who come to our booth and see She's It and says, ooh, She's It, what's that? They come over and then they see our equipment and they say, ooh, what's that? Equipment, a scale and a camera that they've never seen and one that they don't have access to. If in fact, even we go to a lot of sports centers, and even a lot of them don't have the equipment that we have. So when they step on the equipment and they learn what their body is really made of, they're like, oh my gosh, I guess, you know what, I'm better than I thought. Or they say, you know what, I need to do something more, and can you help me do more?
So you're finding all sorts of traditional and non-traditional ways of reaching people.
Yes.
And they get to learn from you, but you're also learning from them.
Oh, we are. We learn from them about, number one, I mean, we've heard some pretty remarkable stories about, well, you know what, I know I should be eating better, but guess what? I don't have a grocery store that's really close to me. Or I know that I should be taking care of my kids better, but I don't know where all the resources that are available. So we're learning a lot about it. And yet on the other side, we have women who are runners, who are very much involved in their health and fitness, and they step on it and they say, wow, okay, I didn't realize that I had this much body fat, or I had this little bit amount of body fat. I want my daughters to learn more about this. So I will, in fact, look at your app and have it help me do what I want to do.
So the social part is social media,
Yes.
but it's also just the social nature of us as human beings, right?
Correct.
And the health part, obviously, just about anybody, is we all want good health and to be healthier. And the empowerment, I guess, is to give people the knowledge, the support, and the encouragement to make better choices and to feel more empowered.
Yes, what we're trying to do in terms of our vision, which thanks for bringing it up, is that we're attempting to change the context of health and healthy decisions so that more of the decisions and more of the choices that they make are in fact by default rather than having to have to be more conscious of it.
So now, how does the SHEapp play into all this? You mentioned something like 10 apps in one. Can you kind of give us, without going too deep with this, can you give us an idea as to how this app kind of came to be and how it's grown to
10
encompass?
apps in one?
Yeah.
Well, the app was basically Tammy Williams' original idea. She started She's It back in 2013. And in fact, at one of our photo shoots, she showed us all of the original wireframes that she had for her original vision. And her original vision was really about helping women make better decisions about their health. And she wanted them, though, to have the knowledge that matters. She was one of the first to even think about body composition and putting that data into a mobile platform. She also was one of the first then to link that to My Food and My Moves and movement. Not steps necessarily, but movement, cardio, strength, and stretching. So, and then when I got into the picture, I added the whole piece about the content, the conversations, the challenges, the articles, and now we have even a whole thing about edutainment, videos, podcasts, and music, all right there in one app.
So you have a tremendous amount of rich content of all kinds.
Yes.
But you also, again, I guess you bring in the social or the community aspect of it too. So everybody who gets on the app has the ability to be part of a community?
Yes, through the challenges and also through conversations. But what's really neat about it is what Tammy's vision is about 360-degree well-being. And that is, we knew that we didn't just want to talk about eating and health and fitness and steps. So Tammy's vision was more about, we started with the elm leaf. The elm is one of her favorite trees. And interestingly enough, the elm has 15 veins And the elm leaf, or the elm tree itself, needs 15 years before it actually matures and procreates into new seeds for new trees. So we decided to have 15 conversations. And so now, so then the app then includes 15 conversations, everything from aging to work.
So I guess the app is available to anyone, right?
Yes, it's on, we launched it late December, and it's on Android and iOS and the iPhones.
And just go to the App Store and search for She's It.
And,
Or SHEapp?
SHEapp.
SHEapp, okay.
SHEapp, yep.
Okay, gotcha, all right. I kind of had my hard time getting my mind around that initially, but I think I got it now. So, so where do you see this whole thing going with the app? I mean, is it going to continue to expand and grow to be more than it is right now, or are you just going to kind of take where it is and just go deeper?
I think probably both. One of the things, yes, is that when we get feedback from our users, and they're telling us how this feature is good or that feature isn't, or they can't get it, so we're always improving. And so, so that's the deeper part of it, is we're improving so that the access to all these features is much easier for them. And so then in terms of more, yes, we're adding experts to our app, so that in a few months' time, we will, our users will be able to access experts in nutrition and in fitness all through the app.
So now how are these experts coming to you or you to them? How is that happening? Is that through networking or?
Networking and intense interviewing. We don't want anybody to be a part of She's It unless we've actually thoroughly vetted them and we know that they can be a part of our mission.
So in other words, you don't want any fluff or any misinformation on your site.
No.
This has all got to be really rock solid, actionable information.
Absolutely.
That's terrific.
Yeah.
So what I would like to learn more about is who your audiences are. I know that we've been talking mostly about individuals and women. Is She's It just for women?
No. In fact, the She's It company started out as primarily for women, and in fact, SHEapp was originally designed with women in mind, but we knew very, very quickly as a business that we needed to expand. And so we've expanded into the corporate space, and so our app is part of a larger program called Envision to Be Well.
I'm going to want to learn more about that in a moment, but we're going to take a break for a word from our sponsors. This is Bill Borton. We'll be back with more Live Better Longer and my guest, Dr. Carol Pate from She's It, in a moment.
RVN TV is a platform for people of any industry to share their story. Over 285,000 viewers are tuning in to RVN TV shows monthly. We guarantee a great experience that you'll be sharing with everyone you know while increasing your personal and company's brand awareness. But what is your brand? According to Forbes, it's a combination of your logo, your product, your design and feel, and your personality. Did you know that aside from being a guest, we offer even more opportunity to boost your brand? Adding your company logo and website on screen during your interview will allow viewers to recognize your brand instantly. Incorporating images and video clips is another great way to showcase your product during your live segment. Let viewers see how good you really are. And most importantly, there's you and your interview. For less than the cost of a newspaper, direct mail, or a magazine ad, you can leave our studio and within 48 hours have a permanent digital copy of your live segment to link to your social media, embed into your company website, or use in email marketing. Investing in your brand is so very important, and we can't wait to have you as a guest.
Welcome back to Live Better Longer. I'm your host, Bill Borton, here with Dr. Carol Pate, who is the partner and executive vice president of She's It. Carol, before the break, you were just starting to talk about the workplace program that you've devised called Envision to Be Well. Could you tell me about that?
Yes. We knew that as a business and to be, start to make money, because we are a startup, that we needed to move into the corporate space. And that was an exciting time for us. And yet we also knew when we did the research about health and wellness programs that, that what we have is in fact a really valuable add-on. It's a valuable add-on to those companies who already have started in the health and wellness space and want to add more and to give more to their employees. But it's also very much a realistic option for those companies who may provide the basic health services and haven't yet stepped into the health and wellness space. This would be a great option for them and their employees.
So I'm starting to see dots connecting here. And so you're a startup,
Yes.
and you're basically pre-revenue at this point, and you're encouraging people to download SHEapp and
Correct.
start to get used to it and help build the community, but that doesn't make you any money.
Correct.
And
Yes.
so, altruism doesn't pay the bills. So in order to fulfill the mission and vision for SHEapp, you really need some corporate support and sponsorship, but it's also nice when you have a win-win situation. And so you're looking to bring your Envision to Be Well program into companies that are willing to buy it from you, but you're also looking for good corporate citizens who can be partners with you and possibly even help fund your ongoing efforts, correct?
Yes. Basically, any company that partners with SHEapp and our Envision to Be Well through SHEapp program will basically realize we can't say that they're going to save an incredible amount of their healthcare dollars, but what we do know is that they're going to be able to optimize the healthcare resources that they have for their employees. And basically, they're going to do that through a proprietary educational process that we're calling Envision to Be Well. And we know just by our past experiences, and especially my background as an educator, that we can carry, that I can carry people from thinking about one thing, and by the end of the time that I'm with them, they're who they think they are and what they think that is possible has changed tremendously. And that's what we're doing.
That's terrific. Well, corporate or workplace wellness programs have been around for quite some time now, and some of them are certainly better than others. And most employers, in the midst of doing all the things they have to do to serve the public and make a profit, realize they have to take better care of their employees. But it's not easy to do, and they don't necessarily know which way to go. Everybody's trying to get their attention. And so the great thing that I see about SHEapp is they don't need to host a lot of employee meetings, do they? They just need to bring the SHEapp and what it can do to their employees and get behind it and help their employees to understand that they're bringing this to them. And employees can have access to this 24/7. It's not like a lunch and learn, right?
Absolutely. That's the beauty of it, because while this proprietary process will help them envision themselves to be well, you're exactly right. Corporations can even decide what content they want to bring in, and we'll add that content to the app that will be available to their employees 24/7. If a company wants to have a kindness challenge, that's one of our channels, they can put that right in the app, and then and again, it'll be access to the employees in their hands through the app 24/7.
Wonderful. So if a company wants to build their brand by being a good corporate citizen and involve their employees in any kind of a good cause, the SHEapp and SHEapp can help them get there at little or no cost.
Absolutely. Kindness, inspiration, human rights. So all of these things I know are important to corporations, as you say, for them being corporate citizens. And so this is a way for them to actually be able to do that and have their employees have access to that.
So I can see all kinds of employers, from for-profit, Public companies, private companies, nonprofits, faith-based organizations, all benefiting from this.
Membership organizations as well, because then, say for instance, Alzheimer's or cancer other organizations, anything that they really want to have their members, know about what they're doing, and to actually then even through their memberships have their own challenges that would in fact help them not only with their brand, but helping their employees raise money for them. It's all available. They can do that through SHEapp.
Now, I know there's more to She's It than just you and Tammy, right?
Yes.
So help me understand that.
It started out, of course, with just Tammy and I. And then we've added, we have a kind of chief of staff organizer, Marjorie Solomon. We have wonderful interns that do a lot of our social media, but we also have just brought in an individual male that is doing he's going to be vice president of our business strategy and development, and we have a wonderful development team that's global. We have a woman who we call the design whisperer out of the Ukraine, and then our development team is out of Pakistan. And all I can tell you is this: from whatever you read about working with people from other cultures, this team that we've worked and who has helped with Tammy. Tammy's up at 4 in the morning, every morning with them, working on this. We just had a big meeting yesterday. They have told us how much they have loved working with us, and that this is one of their only projects that they have said, wow, this is not just a project, this is a mission.
Well, I've had the good fortune to meet and get to know Tammy, and I've also met Margie, a bunch of terrific people. But Tammy talk about charisma, talk about passion and energy. I mean, she's out there in every way, shape, or form, spreading the word, being the evangelist, isn't she?
Yes, and very, very few people realize how smart Tammy really is. I mean, she is not a coder, but she is such a visual person that she, with the developers, were really the ones to put all of this together. We talked about what we wanted added, and she was able, through her and through Julia, our emotional design person from the Ukraine, put it all together, and it really is incredible.
So what kinds of corporations would benefit by helping to financially support She's It in one way or another?
Well, for sure, a lot of corporations who are involved in healthcare, because this SHEapp promises to be a disruptor, because we are in fact going to be able to show that by utilizing SHEapp, that is definitely going to optimize healthcare resources, and it's also going to be able to be, it's also doing this by helping employees make better decisions that also then end up to actually being lifestyles. So while the initial investment may not see returns right away, because of the fact that it's going to be lifestyle, they're going to see better returns over the years.
So then I'm thinking of like group health insurance companies, that are in the employee benefits space.
Yes.
Or healthcare systems, hospital systems, or large physician groups.
Yes.
And then you get into the whole mental health and that type of an area where they might want to get behind this.
Absolutely, and that's in fact the job of our new VP, Thomas Allen. That's exactly what his job is to do, is to seek out all of that. He is what is called a medical physicist. So he has a lot of background in the medical workplace / corporate space.
So this is all terrific information. I know that some of our viewers, including hopefully some good corporate citizens that are going to want to know more about how you can help each other, how would they best reach you? I think we have some information that we can put up on the screen. So here's the She's It logo, and this is obviously Carol's information, but the phone number or the website or an email address?
My email address is Carol at SHEapp.com, not She's It, but you got to have the little dash in there.
Okay.
SHEapp. And then our website to actually go look at all of what we have is www.shes-it.com.
Terrific. Okay. And so I think that there's probably going to be a bright future for you folks. I know if you and Tam have anything to say about it, because you're both very energetic. Carol, this has been wonderful. And as all good things have to come to an end, we've run out of time. So I want to thank you for being on Live Better Longer and give Tam my best. I'm really looking forward to this thing taking off, and I know it will. So,
Thank you, and thank you for having me on this show.
it's been my pleasure. Until next Tuesday at 11 here on RVN TV, this is Bill Borton for Live Better Longer. Thanks so much for watching.